here's Storm Team 10 meteorologist Adam Olivier.
Well, tonight we are keeping a very close watch to the skies here. This is downtown Lafayette, where every now and again we are seeing a few flashes of lightning. But the good news is we're not seeing a whole lot of lightning. Now, why is that good news? Well, the more lightning you see, the stronger storms typically are. So if you don't have a lot of lightning, you're not going to see as intense of weather. However, we still do have some out there. You saw a flash just a few seconds ago, and those clouds getting very, very low here in the city as we are awaiting some heavy rainfall to move on in, which has already caused some issues. Up into Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry parishes, a flash flood warning through midnight here, and that is going to be including Ville Platte and Mamou and Turkey Creek, as well as Washington, all the way down through Opelousas. It's just outside of you in Sunset, but also includes you in LeBeau, Rosa, and Palmetto. And this is because you have already seen significant rainfall earlier in the day. Take a look at some of these totals. Now, this is estimated by rainfall. These are not actual observations, but it gives us a good idea of what we've been seeing there. 3.9 inches out into Allen Parish, but look at this, just to the west of Ville Platte, almost 5 inches of rain. And then you come just to the north of Port Barre here, around south of Palmetto there, almost 6 inches have fallen. That is going to cause flooding no matter what. So we have seen some flood concerns already developing. The good news is these storms have finally gotten a move on and started to sink towards the south. Now, the big question is, will they continue to move south, or do they just kind of hang around the I-10 corridor for a few hours? We'll have to see how that plays out. But the idea is, if this does kind of stall out here, we could pick up some very impressive rainfall totals and have more of those flood concerns. You know how it is here in Lafayette. It sprinkles sometimes and you get flooding on roadways. So we'll have to watch out for that through the overnight hours. But here's a look at where we're still seeing that heavier rainfall at times, although it's become more what we call stratiform rain, where it's just a consistent nuisance rain falling, nothing that's going to help increase a flood threat for you here into Evangeline and St. Landry parishes. Opelousas, so you are getting some more heavy rain that's going to cause issues with that. Lafayette, a big storm just to the north there, moving through the northern parts of the parish. That's the lightning bolt we saw a little while ago. Also heavier rain in Crowley, but not much else down around the coast yet. Our future track takes these storms and actually does push them towards the coast. But look at the time frame. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning on your Sunday, so we could still have this rain lingering for a while. The good news is that a lot of these models have kind of backed off the rain for tomorrow. We'll see how that plays out. This one, though, still does bring in another round of some heavier rain in the early morning hours on your Sunday, sometime between 8 and midday. So we could have another bout of some heavier rainfall potential and flood threat for the area before finally we see things coming to an end during the evening time on your Sunday. So that is the good news, that we are starting to see things kind of quieting down. The severe threat has really gone away, so I'm just going to kind of skip over that because we're not looking at a wind threat anymore. We're no longer seeing hail potential, and it doesn't look like the atmosphere is supportive for tornadoes. So good news there, though there technically is still a risk. It's not really worth mentioning at this point. More so is the flood threat, this yellow shaded area that you see across Acadiana. That's where we have that increased risk of flooding tonight, and we will be picking up quite a bit of rain. Look at what our future rain totals indicate here. Again, you can have localized spots that will have even more than this, but through the overnight hours, we're looking at 1 to 3 to maybe 4 inches of rain in spots. And again, if that all comes down at once, that is going to cause some big problems for you. So we'll be watching that closely for you through the overnight hours. As we get into your Sunday, we'll see those heavy storms again, mainly in the morning time. The afternoon should be drier. And then spotty storms on Monday, Tuesday a dry day. Another system comes through here Wednesday night into Thursday with the potential for severe weather. Finally, by the end of the week, we kick all this nasty weather out of there, and look at that. Morning lows dropping into the 40s, afternoons in the 70s with sunshine. Really should turn out to be a beautiful end to the week.
Download the KLFY News 10 weather app today.